So let's hope this works this time. It's looking like it's working. I had a mic problem before. I think it was some type of connection problem with the streaming software. The mic seems fine. For whatever reason, the streaming software just stopped working. Yeah, we seem to be back. I'm really sorry about that. I think it was the streaming software. It just all of a sudden stopped working. I don't know why. I just had to refresh it all. Hi everyone, sorry about that. That's really frustrating when that happens. Doesn't happen often, luckily. So we'll just wait to see everybody come back. Hi Al Pacino, hi Lady, hi Stephen. Hopefully the other people who had just joined will come back as well. That's really disappointing. Thanks for letting me know though that it had stopped working, because I would have just carried on. Hello Kelly Jane, I'm not sure if you was in the original stream. I did one for 5 minutes and then everything just stopped working. Yeah, Mr. Showstopper's here and says he can hear. Yeah, when I'm on my streaming software, I can see, the mic's picking my voice up now. When I checked it a moment ago, for some strange reason, it just stopped working. The streaming software had just stopped. Yes, so this is where we're at. So Stephen was saying, hi Vincent, I've been going on a date with this beautiful girl for almost 3 months now. She's always been telling me to talk about my ex to her. She claims what she wants to know. Is it proper, Vincent? Well, there are certainly some people who like to know more than others about previous relationships. Sometimes people will kind of use it as a judgment on yourself. So they might want to know about your ex to understand why that relationship ended and trying to understand you as a person. Some people want to know more details than others. It's different from person to person. So it could be fine. I wouldn't, bring your ex up unless there's obviously a valid reason, either because you've been asked about her or there is a relevant reason, to connect it to a story. But it's probably okay. It's probably fine. It's just that she's particularly interested, probably trying to understand you more as a person. 3 months is still quite a short amount of time. She's still trying to work you out. Mr. Showstopper said, I thought you were just teaching us silence with a dumper and how it's golden. I wish I was that clever and artistic. What I was telling everybody previously was that on Thursday I'm uploading a very special interview, because it's a type of interview I've not done before. It's with a former Paris model, and she is speaking about femininity and her opinion on femininity. And she speaks about how she believes people can be more feminine if they would like to learn how to be more feminine. And she also speaks about what she believes feminine women find attractive in men. So whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're feminine or masculine, I'd like to think that you would all get something from this interview. It's a very different type of interview. She's got her own YouTube channel, so in the interview I mentioned a few times her channel because she's new and she's just trying to grow it. But yeah, look out for that on Thursday. That's when I'm planning on uploading that. Today I uploaded a video about limited contact. So it's about the no contact rule, but for people who have to have some type of contact. So maybe you've got children together, maybe you work together, there could be other reasons. So it's a bit niche, but I think it will still be helpful for some of you. Stephen has said, she's always been talking about her ex to me. What does that mean? Does it mean she's over the ex or what? I wouldn't necessarily say it means that, Stephen. I mean, obviously every situation is different. Every person is different in their reasoning. But it could just be the fact, exes are an important part of our life, and they're going to no doubt connect to various things. So, various instances, various situations, various holidays, trips, memories, and different situations can bring up different scenarios where people get mentioned within a story. I wouldn't freak out about it, but she's asking about your ex and she's mentioning hers. It's still early days, still 3 months in, but just try to build your own memories with her. That's what I would say. Try to build some memories just between you two. Lady Shante has said, Vincent, I just wanted to say that I've been continuing self-improvement, and one thing that I've realised is that I'm a bit afraid that I will not love anyone else in the same way that I did my ex. I know it sounds strange because of what I went through. I think that's a really important milestone you've hit, Lady Shante, because I think before you would have probably shied away from that truth. I could see that was the case, but I didn't really want to put words in your mouth. Your ex was not a nice person, but it's been evident that you do have some deep feelings attached still. And I think this is the first important step. You've acknowledged the fact that you did and probably still do really love him. And that is why you're going to find it difficult to meet somebody else, so to speak. But what I would say is, but when the time is right, the time is right. When you meet that right person, you will meet that right person. And until then, just try to speak to new people. That is always a good starting point. Donka said, hey there. Since dinner with my ex a week ago, I haven't heard from her. She did go to the beach for the holiday weekend. Not planning on contacting her. Good idea. Yeah, I would say that, Donk. I would suggest, you've had a good date with her. But so far it's just kind of a date. You're just letting things settle again. Personally, I would probably not contact her again unless she contacted you. However, you have been on a date now. So if something really kind of relevant came up, let's just use something cliche. Let's say that you found out her favourite music band was in town. Okay, as unlikely as that might seem now. Because you have met up a week ago, I think that would give you scope just to message and say, look, just letting you know your favourite band is in town. That kind of thing. But in general, I wouldn't contact her unless she contacts you first. I wouldn't be sending her, hi, how are you? If something massive comes up, then message her. But if not, then I wouldn't. Mr. Showstopper says, Lady Shante, understandable. I get those thoughts here and there. Take it one day at a time. Elvis is here. Hello, Elvis. Face reveal soon, please. It's funny you say that, Elvis. I've been asked that a few times. Basically, I started my podcast off as a proper, audio podcast. In fact, it still is a podcast on podcasting platforms. Moving it onto YouTube was secondary. So when I moved it onto YouTube, I just literally uploaded the file. So there's a few benefits to do it this way. One, there's less production value than doing a video, which means I can produce things quicker and I can put more content out. But more importantly for me is that I want to make this about you guys. This is about you and your individual journeys. This isn't about me. I don't court fame. I don't court interest. It's not about me. It's about you. So that combination of things, the fact that it was originally just an audio podcast that I just put on YouTube, and now I get more views on YouTube than the podcasting platforms, but the principle is the same. I still record it as a podcast and just transfer it across, which means I can put more content out. And secondly, it's about you guys. It's not about me. It's not really the type of thing where I'm like, hey, hi, here I am. So that's the reason why I just keep this the way I do. But it's nice of you to say, Elvis. Donka said, we did talk about hiking together. Should I invite her? If you've been speaking about it and it sounded positive, then if you've got a date in mind, then I think there's no harm in that. On your date, you were speaking about a further date in hiking. So if you've got a certain potential time where you might want to do that, yeah, I think that'd be fine to do. What I would suggest, though, is just don't contact her with pointless things. Let her come to you on that. Al Pacino said, I still really love my ex too. It's hard, but easier than it was. I know I'm wrong for doing it, but saw a photo at our favourite restaurant with the other guy the other night, and it crushed me. Yeah, that's very, very painful, and I'm really, really sorry, Al, that you had to see that. That is why I encourage people to avoid the social media of your ex, with all of your ability, because that is going to hurt. But try to use it as fuel, Al Pacino, fuel for you to move forward with your life. It's really time you started pushing forward. I know you've been contacting other girls, but now you want to see whether any of them you might be able to take a little bit further. Lady said, Mr. Showstopper, thank you. I believe you're right. It hurts to realise that he just doesn't love me in the same way. There was no way he could have loved me if everything happened those 3 years. He was not a nice person, Lady Shante, and you deserve somebody much better. Al Pacino said, looks like they bought a goldfish together. Oh no. A goldfish. That's... Do people still do that? Wow, that's an interesting pet to buy together as a couple. I always thought that was just something you got a child. Well, I'm lost for words on that. They must I understand when people get really elaborate goldfish tanks, but just like a single goldfish in a little tank, I just picture that as something that you kind of get a child just to feed. I don't know. If they're happy, then that's their thing. Maybe they've not got much time. Stephen said, the image of your voice I have in head is Ricky Gervais. Wow. I don't know how to feel about that. Do I sound like Ricky Gervais? I don't think I do. But, yeah, interesting one. Mr. Showstopper said, Lady Shante, welcome. It's good to have support. Lady said, Mr. Showstopper, you are absolutely right. The important thing is that everybody supports each other and really tries to, almost like we all push forward together with our own challenges. Al said, I told you she got in touch again Saturday night, didn't I? The usual couple of messages then disappeared. No, Al, you didn't tell me that. I had no idea that once again she got in contact. I'm pretty sure you didn't tell me this Saturday. Usual thing. The same old routine. Mr. Showstopper has said, do you think posting fun things you're doing on social media along with pictures of yourself will relieve the dumper's anxiety or create anxiety? It will create intrigue and it will create interest. And if that matches at the moment where they're feeling a little bit unsure about their life, that is when they're going to activate the process of getting in touch with you. So if they're feeling that their life isn't fulfilling and then they see you doing intriguing things, that is when they're going to reach out. Al said, messages then disappear, and then typed a message and then deleted it. The irony is not lost. Jocelyn. Hello, Jocelyn. After 6 weeks of no contact, I reached out to my ex out of anxiety. She posted on Instagram pictures from a place she bought me for my birthday. She reacted cold and distant. Was it a mistake to reach out? So I don't want you to beat yourself up at this stage. If you've been somebody who has broken no contact as a dumpy, then I don't want you beating yourself up. The action has happened. It has been done. We can't turn back the clock. However, I have to say that it was a mistake to reach out to your ex. Because basically, if your ex isn't wanting to hear contact from you, they are likely to respond in a cold way. Now, this doesn't mean it's not like going to destroy your chances forever, Jocelyn. So please don't feel too destroyed or disheartened at this moment. But try to use it as a lesson of what can happen. Most dumpies who reach out to dumpers will receive either nothing back or something very cold back. And unfortunately, that is what you have received. My suggestion is you implement my version of a no contact rule and never contact your ex again unless she contacts you first. Alice said, do you think I should mirror what she does to me if she ever gets in touch again? As in, stop messaging her mid-conversation like she does with me lately. I feel like she knows I'm there even now. See, it's a difficult situation with you, Al, because it all depends on how it's affecting the dumpy, how it's affecting you. And the way I see it affecting you is that it's trapping you as a stage 1 dumpy. I don't think you have moved into a stage 2 dumpy yet. And I think she is preventing you from doing that. So I'm not really liking this situation. Because some people can handle it and some can't. And at the moment you're really struggling with her contact because you're not able to push forward with your life. It's kind of like holding you back. I would really seriously try to focus all your energy on new connections, Al. If your ex messages you, message her back, reply, ask a question back, but try your hardest not to hold any stock in the conversation. You know, at the same time as doing that, be messaging 2 other girls. You know, take your mind off the ex conversation by that. You know, you're a single person at the moment. You should be messaging and communicating with as many people as possible. Always remember that when you're single, 1 is too close to none. That's what you need to remember. Mac is here. Hello, Mac. Mac said, if my ex said she wanted to know who she was without me, is it just BS or maybe what she really felt? Me and my ex-girlfriend broke up for about 3 or 4 months. For 3 or 4 months ago. We were 17 when we met. We're now 22. Been in no contact since, except when she wished me happy birthday 2 months ago. So you got together with your girlfriend during a very kind of pivotal moment in your life, between the ages of like 16 and 22, 23, maybe even up to 25. There's a lot of change in people's lives. We're discovering who we are as people. So your ex is basically saying she didn't feel like she could live her life to the full. She couldn't live what she wanted to achieve as a single person, being within the relationship. Now that might be because she felt smothered, or it might not. You might not have smothered her. Now, if you didn't smother her, then what she's basically saying is she wants to try dating new people. If you did smother her, then it might have been to do with she just wanted to see her friends, or she wanted to go on holiday, or she wanted to travel around the world, or she wanted to do something she didn't think she could do within the relationship. So I believe that your best option is to, just use the no contact rule, because you've got somebody who's not feeling comfortable with what they had and you can't force it. I read what Al had said. I feel like she knows I'm there even now. Jocelyn said, try a few times to chat, and she was replying after 24 hours or more. Looking at her Instagram, I see that the last guy she added is posting pictures of her on her stories. If I had the alarm that I use, the siren, if I had that to hand, I really need to get that back to hand, because this is another siren moment, Jocelyn. You've got to stop looking at your ex's social media. You've got to stop contacting your ex. You've got to go on an ex detox. You remind me of how Al Pacino was a few months ago. Al's not at that point now, and you can move forward as well, with some confidence that you can start to feel better again. Like, Al never thought he was going to feel better, and although he really misses his ex, Al is functioning a lot better now. And that is where I would like you to get to, Jocelyn, because at the moment this is not good at all. This constant messaging your ex, looking at your ex's social media, it's never going to help you, unfortunately. Lady Shanty said, Vincent, speaking back the clock, some days I regret sending those goodbye cards to my ex's family members. At the end, I was just so emotional and hurt back then. Don't regret anything that you did within that situation, Lady Shantae. You was treated terribly. He was an abusive partner, and you deserve so much more. He's made you feel so low value that he's made you believe, even after all this time, you think you're not good enough for anybody, but you are. You're good enough for lots of people. You know, the amount of people you've said have contacted you recently and you've not felt the vibe. You will meet somebody who matches you perfectly soon. You've got to keep going though, and you've got to really try to understand that your ex was poisonous to you. Jocelyn said, so is it clear she has a new boyfriend? I guess I'll go no contact forever. She asked why I was contacting her. I said curious to see the stories from time to time. She said fine. If this is not with intention to open the door that we closed, I did not bother to reply. Should I? No, don't reply, Jocelyn. Maybe say wish you the best or take care. I wouldn't say anything now. At this moment, Jocelyn, I would really step back from it completely. Alice said, I guess it just makes me wonder why she does it, you know. If she's trying to be a friend, she isn't even being a very good one the way she's been. Yeah, no, I understand, Al. Basically, she's trying to have you as a backup friend, I would say. She wants you there in case she needs you. She wants you there as somebody to rely on, and she's probably not even doing it deliberately, but she's just kind of keeping you in check with this. Now, if you could handle this, it would be fine, but you can't handle it. You're really, really struggling, and that is why I'm not really happy with how this is going, because I really want you to be pushing forward now, Al. K4, hello K4. It feels bad knowing I never self-improved much since my breakup, 9 months, and I only recovered emotionally. I didn't progress in my career. Actually, I declined. Never did much at all. K4, you went on the boat recently. What was that? That was fantastic when you was on that boat. You should be really proud of yourself for that. Feeling like a loser sometimes, and if she did make contact now, she would see that I'm less of a man than the man she left. K4, come on, we're going to build you up now. We are going to build you up. Please don't feel that way, K4. The important thing is that you take one step forward each and every day, going through self-improvement, understanding what you can do to become a better person each day. You can do this one step at a time. Jocelyn has said, thank you for the feedback, it helps. Jocelyn, I don't want you feeling too, disheartened. Obviously, there's been a real difficult time for you at this moment, but you can get through this. Please believe me, it gets easier. I swear to you all, it gets easier. You will all find happiness. Chris is here. Hello, Chris. Day 30 of no contact. Is that true that they will usually contact between 45 and 60 days? No, Chris, that's nonsense made up by random coaches that just put out whatever they want to say. Some people do. Some people do, but I've known dumpers contact after days, weeks, months, years, decades. So between 45 and 60 days, that's very precise. Does it happen? Yes. Is it some type of rule? No. In fact, Chris, I would be very interested to know, if you don't mind saying, who have you been listening to? I would really love to know who is giving out that kind of advice. Lady said, K4, stay strong and positive. Al Pacino said, I'd love to be in a position where it didn't work out with that guy and she tried to come back and I didn't want her. Would be my time to finally give her a life lesson on how to treat people. You never know, Al. It really could happen. Lady Shantia said, K4, it's Vincent says, we can't allow our minds to create stories about ourselves or our exes. It's true. When we have a lack of information about somebody, whether they're an ex or somebody else, our brain fills the gap, it fills the void. And that can be very dangerous because it's just making things up. It's just creating nonsense just to fill the gap. If you're thinking something really bad, you may as well think something very good. It's just as likely. K4 says, true. Mr. Showstopper says, K4, I was there for many, many months. Keep pushing forward. Try and talking to new people. Jocelyn said, what is the best way to stop watching her Instagram? I do not manage. Her profile is public, so I always see it when I type her name, even on a laptop. I'm weak on do not message to look every day. If you are absolutely struggling with your mental health, Jocelyn, you might need to go to the point of just deleting your Instagram. Your mental health has to come first. If your mental health is really suffering and you can't manage your own Instagram without looking at hers, you might have to delete your Instagram, just stop using Instagram. You need to do whatever it takes to put your mental health first. Chris has said The Art of Love. And Dr. Lee. Thank you for sharing, Chris. I mean, I don't know The Art of Love and I don't know Dr. Lee. My theories are completely different to that, though. 30-day no contact is BS on YouTube. Yeah, if you've been dumped, you should never contact your ex again unless they contact you first. You know, if anybody's new to my channel and they want to learn about my theories and everything, I've done nearly 300 podcasts approaching. You know, please subscribe, please ring the bell. I upload content every other day. Every 2 days there is new content. But YouTube will only notify you if you have rang the bell. If you don't ring the bell, even if you subscribe, if you don't ring the bell, YouTube will only show random periodic content to you. And you might be missing out on loads of stuff that I've uploaded. So I'm uploading every other day. I live stream as often as I can. Again, you'll only be notified if you ring that bell. So please subscribe, please ring the bell. And check out my theories and see what you think to them. You know, they might be vastly different to what other people are saying. They might be similar. There might be some similar things and some different things. Check out my stuff and let me know your thoughts. I base my theories on 3 pillars. On life experience, in which I've experienced a lot of the things that I discuss. Research into other people's experiences, which basically fits in with everything that I haven't experienced. I researched very thoroughly with other people, and even the stuff I have experienced, I also researched that with other people to try to get a better conceptual thought on it. And then the third pillar I base my advice on is I have a qualification in relationship and couples counselling. So I've got the academic qualification kind of angle on it as well. So they're the 3 pillars. You know, I'd be really interested to hear what the other coaches base their advice on. Sometimes I think they're just kind of like plucking things out of a hat. You know, it doesn't really seem to make any sense often. At the end of the day, there is no 100% guaranteed way to get your ex back. Nothing works 100% of the time. Nothing fails 100% of the time. At the end of the day, all we can do is increase our chances. All we can do is improve the possibility of us finding success and happiness. And that's what I tried to do. I tried to give you the best chance to achieve your goal, to move towards happiness. And therefore, not everything I say is going to work every time. And not everything somebody else says is going to fail every time. But I'm telling you that, like, look, if you do this more often than not, it's going to work. If you do this more often than not, it's going to fail. And then it's up to you. Lady Shante said, blocking my ex was the best thing that I could have done. And all social media platforms where I was trying to heal. Jocelyn has said, the thing is that if I delete it, I'll probably just look online without the app. I mean, if you're struggling that much, Jocelyn, then you might want to consider speaking with a local doctor or somebody. You know, if you're really feeling like a level of depression and kind of like a desire, which is almost like an addiction, you might want to speak to somebody like a local doctor possibly. Al Pacino said, do you think she would ever revisit the idea if it didn't work out with him? I counted all the reach outs the other day and it's 12. Wow, 12. And you never thought she would ever do it. Not including Insta comments or likes, even though she doesn't even follow me. I mean, everybody's evolving and time is always moving on and feelings are always changing. But at this very second, Al, if she breaks up with him in the next if she breaks up with him this year, then I'm pretty confident she will contact you and you would quite easily be able to get her on a date. Now, further forward than that, you know, we don't know how her feelings are going to evolve for you and for everybody else. But right now, I do think you could go on a date with her if she was single. But that might change, you never know. Lady Shanto said, Vincent, the guy from the past that I mentioned seems to be a bit too pushy. He's even told me he loved me. Seems manipulative, and he doesn't even have my phone number. That does sound intense. So people a bit back was telling me to get Super Chat. I do have Super Chat. You probably already noticed it. It is now functioning. I was getting a few questions saying, why don't you have Super Chat? Well, I have now implemented it. It is there if anybody wants to use it and support the channel. I wasn't going to turn it on, but after a few people asked about it, I thought, well, you know what? People are asking, so I will. So there it is. It's open for you all. Jeff has said, just saying hello to all. Take care of yourself and look forward. Thanks, Jeff. That's really, really powerful stuff. Brutally is here. Sup, Vincent? All good, thank you, Brutally. How are you? Jocelyn has said, she's been pretty shitty with me. Why I cannot stop wanting her back after she threw me in garbage like I'm nothing. Any advice on how to convince me I do not want her back? Thinking she already has a new boyfriend. Why on earth can I just stop wanting her back? Unfortunately, the most attractive thing somebody can do to us is to reject us. And that is the struggle you're going through right now, Jocelyn. But take one step at a time and you will be able to heal. Al Pacino said, it does make me wonder if she messaged her exes whilst with me. I don't think they'll break up for some time, to be honest. It's already longer than they expected. Yeah, it's longer than I was expecting. And that shows how that rebounds can develop into something a little bit more substantial. But people still break up every day. So even if it's not an official rebound, it doesn't matter. Kelvin has said, hi, I just came in to say hello. Thank you, Kelvin. That's really great to have you here. Bruted said, can't complain, move on. Moving on even. That's good to hear. Okay, so Bruted said, it's an affair, dude, hang in there. Jammy is here. Hello, Jammy. Hi, Vincent. It's Luke from the emails, a fair bit back. Hope you're well. Oh, wow. Wow, that is a long time ago now. My situation has degraded considerably. However, I have some advice for people new to the situation. Please give your advice. You said, don't talk to mutual friends, as they will only worsen the situation by trying to help. Take a break from social media in general. Thank you, Jammy Dodger, for saying that. It's very important to hear from somebody who's gone through the struggle and going through the pain. Social media is not going to help you, okay, when you're going through the struggle. Mutual friends in general, they're probably trying to help you, but if they don't have experience in the situation, they might accidentally give you the wrong advice. Emma is here. Hello, Emma. When is it clear that no/limited contact is working? Okay, so it's an interesting way you can phrase that. So the no contact rule, when implemented, will always be working, but you won't necessarily be able to see something working. It always works in the way that it is slowly but surely increasing the level of intrigue your ex will have in you. Now, dependent on how low the level of romantic emotional attraction has fallen, will depend on how long this will need to take place before there's any opportunity that they might want to reach out to you. So it's always working, but it's working in the background. It's slowly going up at a minuscule pace. It's like a tortoise slowly moving. So it's always working, but if the level of romantic emotional attraction is too low, it might never raise to the necessary point of where somebody will reach out. Alice said, statistically, when is it that most relationships end? Within 2 years. I mean, that is a very kind of open-ended question regarding, because you can look at, what is a relationship? Do you count it only from like long-term relationships, short-term relationships? Because if you're looking at relationships where people say, I'm in a relationship and it only lasted a month, then obviously that's going to really pull down the average. It's a real kind of out there kind of question, with no straightforward kind of sensible answer with it really. Brutally, when you feel better, Emma. That's a good way of putting it, brutally, actually. I said what Jeremy Dodgy was saying. Al Pacino said, we lasted 9 votes, so I might have to wait long. Yeah, you never know how long you're going to have to wait. Jeremy said, but ultimately I'd say improve yourself, as you cannot control the ex's decisions. They will most likely upset you more if you focus on them. You can only control yourself. Great advice from Jamie. I always say to people, improve yourself every single day. Be a little bit better today than you were yesterday. Be a better person tomorrow than you are today. You can only control the controllables, and the controllable is you. If you are the best version of yourself, if you reach your full potential, or you improve your level of trying to reach your full potential, you will be attractive to more people, new people, your ex, everybody. Mr. Showstopper has said, if posting on social media publicly for a bit, then you change it to friends only, will it make the dumper intrigued, or the latter if they see a latter date post is not showing anymore? Everybody's different. Every situation is different. I mean, if you feel comfortable knowing that your ex is seeing your social media, then you can use it to your advantage. You can post positive things. You can post things you're doing to try to intrigue them. But I wouldn't try to kind of think of it as purely about trying to attract them. I would do it just try to showcase your positivity, and new people might see it as well. So if your mental health can handle it, I wouldn't necessarily block people from seeing posts and whatnot, only unless your mental health's struggling. If you can handle it, just put it out there for everybody. Brutally said, assume they've gone forever. If they come back, bonus. Kelvin has said, do you think it's good to post inspirational, motivational quotes on social media? Not really. I'm not big on quotes because they often then kind of deteriorate into emotional mush. I'd much prefer to showcase actions speak louder than words. A positive photo of yourself, a photo of you doing something kind of exciting, a screenshot of you signing up to do a new course or something like that. I think would be better. Al Pacino, sorry for the out there question, Vincent. You can ask any of those questions, it's fine. It's just that it's very hard to kind of judge on that. Jamia said, don't post things to make your ex jealous or to get a reaction from them. Just improve yourself and showcase it. Lady Shantae said, Mr. Showstopper, it may be intriguing. I blocked my ex all round at the end of a relationship, and about 4 months ago, I believe he tried to hack my Instagram account. That was a real random situation, Lady Shantae. Mr. Showstopper said, I can handle it. Sometimes I prefer my ex not to see what some people comment. That's understandable. If that's the situation, then that's what you've got to do. Lady Shantae, wow. Yeah, it was a strange old situation there. Al Pacino said, I'm losing hope at this point, though, but the difference is I think I'm okay with that now, and sometimes I just shrug my shoulders at things I see now, but that's the positive thing. Okay, everybody, if you get your final comments in, please, I'm going to wrap this stream up. It's been great having you all here today. A bit of a random stream, like I always say. Please subscribe, please ring that bell. You never know when I'm going to live stream. It just happens out of nowhere. If you feel that my content has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. If I've enabled you to understand that one day in the future you will feel happiness again, if I've allowed you to raise your self-esteem in your mind, then please consider buying me a virtual coffee by clicking the link that I've just posted into the chat. Only do so if you believe I've earned it and that you can afford it, but if you do, I would be very much appreciative. So Lady Shante said, I decided to block him because he was cruel and it was upsetting just to see him. But everyone is different. Jocelyn said, you're the best. Thanks for the great support. Well, thank you, Jocelyn. Everybody, please stay positive. You will find happiness again. I promise you that. Brutally said, I'm where you're at, Al Pacino. Al said, I really felt like through lockdown, things gained a little traction from not speaking in 5 months to lots of contact and the pictures disappearing off of social media. Needs that magical possibility. Al Pacino said, brutally strange place to be. The important thing, Al, is you raised the level of romantic emotional attraction to the point of where you were blocked, and now your ex is seeing you as a platonic friend or a platonic acquaintance, you might say. It's not ideal, but you have raised the level of romantic emotional attraction from a blocking to a point where she's reached out to you 12 times. And yet, she just wants you as an acquaintance right now. But that's still an improvement to where it once was. Lady Shanty said, thank you, Vincent. Hope you stream again soon. Absolutely. The aim is to do more. I'm back on it now, doing more. And I hope you are enjoying them. So thank you, everybody, for taking part in today's live stream. Mr. Showstopper said, thanks, Vincent. Thanks to the group trying to support one another with stories and advice. Always remember that with or without your ex, you will have a positive future. Thank you and good night.